So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything you need to know about enroll your children in school, both secondary or primary school. If you're coming here with your kids, how you need to go about it, because a lot of you have been asking me this question. I didn't do it initially because I thought it wasn't something people were interested in, but since I've gotten a couple of questions about this, I decided to talk about this topic. Grab a cup of tea, popcorn, whatever you have, and sit down and let's get into the video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, to all my OGs, thank you so much for being here. And if you're seeing me for the first time, hello, my name is Furo, and on this channel I create content about life in the UK and a sprinkle of lifestyle content. The light is just, the sun keep going up and down, so you see my face getting bright and getting gloomy. Just know it's the sun. There's something I can do about it. Okay, so if you're a mom, you're a dad, you're a parent, you have to understand that as you're planning to relocate, as you're planning to move out, you are not only moving yourself, you are also moving your kids. So you have to have them in mind, thinking of the schools they will go to, how they're going to, settle into the whole new environment, new society. For me, for my kids, it was a little bit of a challenge when they got in here, but even the fact that I had already prepared, everything for them, it was really a little bit of a challenge for them to settle in here. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the mistakes I made, how you too can avoid these mistakes and, balance yourself out. Yes. So for me, I'm that kind of mom that's very, very nosy when it comes to my kids' business. I'm that mom that will go to my kids' school and make a friend, just because I want to know the kind of friends my kids have. I'm that thing you will call overprotective mom. Yes. I am very overprotective. Yes, let's own our personalities. You might not be like me, but I am that mom, okay? So when it was time for my kids to come, first of all, I struggled with getting accommodation. So I did not know the school to enroll my kids, because at the time I was staying in Salford, and it was close to, it was almost 2 weeks to when my kids were going to arrive, and I had not gotten school for them. And why I did not even know that I was supposed to enroll them in school before they even arrived was because, if I told you I'm really conversant with the American system because I've lived there for a while. So usually in America, if you go to enroll your child today, tomorrow your child will start school. So that was what I was thinking that it was going to happen here. So a lot of my American experience really dealt with me when I got here. I had to start on learning what happens in America and learning what happens in UK. So if you're like me, know that don't use American expectation and come here, or learn what you've seen in other countries you've been in and start learning this system. Their own is very different. So in America, if you enroll your child today, tomorrow your child is going to start school. So when I got here, I thought the same thing was going to imply here because I thought it was a developed country, so it's the same system they are running. But little did I know that it was not correct. I was not informed. Okay, I was not informed. My kids stayed at home for almost going to 2 months, a month and 2 weeks, a month and 1 week before they got school. That's like 5 weeks. And what happened was because I did not enroll them before they got here. I did not search for schools before they got here. I did not do anything. I was just concentrating on looking for accommodation. And you won't blame me because I was alone. I was doing these things alone. I was battling with schoolwork, so it was really so much for my shoulder. So I didn't even think about school. And I'm one person that I don't worry myself about things that I can't do anything about, and I don't let myself also get overwhelmed. So if I'm taking too much on my plate, I just ignore one and deal with this one that is very important, and then we'll go back to that. That's how I function. So I don't let things stress me. I just take the most important and be dealing with it, and then we'll go back. Sometimes it affects me, okay? Sometimes it affects things, but that's how my body functions, so there's nothing I can do about it. So what happened was I did not enroll my kids. I didn't even check anything about school. I was just looking for accommodation, and I wasn't talking about school. So by the time I got accommodation, because now they had to, because it was close to like a week to when they were supposed to come, and I did not get any accommodation. They had to postpone when they were supposed to come, and they postponed by 1 week. So by the time I got accommodation, it was like 3 weeks before they would come. And I still did not, worry about the school, because I felt it was the same thing with other countries I've been in. So I was just worried about cleaning the house, how to decorate the house, how to buy some furniture, because if you're watching my video, you know that my house was completely empty. There was nothing in this house. There was no chair, there was no table, there was nothing. I literally bought everything from the scratch, okay? So I had to like think of how to buy bed, because I didn't want them to come and not have cover clothes, or not have bed, or not have chairs. And furnishing a house is quite a lot of money, and this, when you are spending money, is really weighing on your shoulder. So I didn't bother. So I was just worried about putting the house together. And before I could finish putting the house together, it was 3 weeks, and the children were here. Had not applied for school. So, and they've already stayed like 2 weeks at home in Nigeria without going to school. By the time they got here, that's when I started researching for school, okay? Which brings me to my point number one. In the UK here, all their schools are free, except you want to go to a private school, which I've seen a couple of people that go to private school, but I just feel it's not worth it going to private school, because even their government school is also have standard, okay? So it's not worth it spending all your money in private school. So if you can get it free, why pay for it? That's me though. It doesn't mean that's how you should do. You can decide to pay for a private school, but me, I just thought it wasn't necessary. But even in this whole public school system, they have Christian schools, they have church schools, they have Catholic schools, Anglican schools, different kind of schools, public schools. It was very important to me that in this community my children attend a school that is a church-based school, because I know that their value system, they're not going to be supporting certain things that goes on in this community. So it's going to be it's going to be structured, and they're not going to support certain things. So they're not going to push certain things that I wouldn't want my kids to know, or to be aware of, or to start thinking of. So church school was very important to me. Yeah, if you've been following me, I know I said I don't like church schools. Yeah, that was back home in Nigeria, because I just think that churches are really extreme. That's why I don't like church school back home in Nigeria. But here it's okay. So I started looking for the church schools around me, which is, but once you get your accommodations, even while you're back home, if you're able to get your accommodation before you get here, start looking for schools around you. Even if you don't get accommodation, and just think of areas where you want to live in, start applying for schools around that area. If you get admission and you don't get accommodation around there, you can still transfer. So transferring schools is easier than when you want to enroll freshly. It's really difficult when you want to enroll freshly. So I got this Christian school. I got a secondary school that was a bit far from my house. I got the primary school that was just by my back. That was a Christian school. Now this secondary school, one of my kids attends secondary school. This secondary school that was a bit far from my house. I also wanted structure, okay? I wanted a secondary school that has structure, guys. I'm very intentional. Structure, I mean the building of a school is very important to me. If you watch my video where I say things to look out for when you want to put your child in a boarding school, I'm going to leave that video in the description box. It's very important. A lot of things are very important to me. Once I started being intentional about raising my kids, I think it was just in my first child that I was intentional, but it was as if I was still playing. I didn't know what I wanted. But once my third, I think I and my husband, we just knew what we wanted for our kids, and then we started pushing, okay? So the structure of the school was really important. So I saw a couple of schools, but this particular one, the structure, it was like the school where my children were attending back home. It's like, I don't know who copied each other now, okay? One of them went to one of them and just copied it and did in their own. So it was exactly the same structure. In fact, once my child got into the school, she fell in love with the school. That is very important to me, because that's going to also help their academic performance. So once she saw the school, she fell in love with the school, and I was like, and started process. We apply. So when you come, they will give you options. You first of all research about the school. If you're that kind of proactive parents, you can go visit the school. Like me, I went to visit all the 3 schools that I was picking, because they'll give you a form and they'll tell you choose 3 schools. So you have option of choosing 3 schools. So I choose 3 secondary schools, 3 primary schools, and I wanted the my 2 younger ones to be in the same school, so it's easier for me to pick them instead of them being in separate schools. So I choose the same school for them. And then my secondary school one, I didn't mind her being in a fast school, and this school that met all my criteria was quite far from our house. I think it was like 25 minutes by bus and about 12 minutes by driving. And at that time I didn't have a car, but I was just bent on the fact that this school was just perfect. Okay, it was just perfect. So you first of all, you have to check and see if you want your child to go to a Christian school. Do you want your child to go to a government school, a public school? There are different kind of schools. There are schools that are owned by the council or something like that. So you want to check all these schools and see the one that you will love your child to go to. Okay, I don't know if I'm all over the place, but at least you're picking the point. And if you're that kind of parents that like structure too, you also want to check the structure. Does it suit what you want? Because looking at the school you bring your child from, back where you're coming from, you don't want to come and put your child in something that that doesn't meet their standards. Okay, so let's say you put a child in a school that is really nice and you come and just dump them. They're not going to be impressed. They're not going to be happy to live here. So you want to that first impression, let it speak to their mind and they'll be happy. And if they're happy, your life will be easier. These are the things that were very, very important to me. And when we got there to check the school, out of the 3 schools we saw, she just picked this one, and I think she picked another one, the one she's attending now. She picked that as her second best, and we filled in those schools and we submitted the forms. And that was when our waiting started, guys. We waited. At the time I felt like, I don't know if other people have this anxiety, but me, I usually have this anxiety that when I apply for stuff and you don't give me that stuff when I want it, my body will be shaking, especially when it comes to my kids. So when they stayed at home 1 week, 2 weeks, my body was just shaking. I felt like, oh God, is it that they don't want to enroll my kids in school? At the time my husband was like, okay, let's look for private school and just put them in the private school, let them be going to the private school, and then later when they give them school, we can transfer them. We checked for private schools. We couldn't find any private schools by where we live. So it was horrible. 3 weeks are gone, 4 weeks are gone before finally they called us. So one thing I want you to do is apply for schools for your kids from back home. They don't need you, even if you've not gotten your BRP, you've not gotten anything. Apply. All they need is your child's birth certificate, and they will email you a form to fill and submit back to them, or you go to their website. So once you can figure out where you're going to live, just go to the council and the website, you check the area you want to live in, and then you fill everything, fill your children's detail, upload their birth certificate. That is it. You don't need any status, or you don't need to show anything. So that is it. And then you wait. So I waited for 4 weeks and 5 weeks before they finally gave us school. So they gave us 2 schools. So the one we really liked, and the second, our second best. My other kids just gave them one, and that was the best, the one we really liked for the younger ones. That's what they gave them. So we didn't even bother going to the second school anymore to check. So I just took the younger ones, and I think my secondary school, so they always prioritize people in secondary school than the ones in primary school. So my secondary school child got school, I think, 1 week. So the other ones had to stay like 6 weeks, 7 weeks at home before they got school. So my secondary school child got school, I think, 1 or 2 weeks before the younger ones. So they gave her the first one we really liked, and then we got there, we got our uniform. No, we had to pay for our uniform, and guys, their uniform is quite expensive. The jacket alone is £30. Then you just buy the white and the trousers. Some of them is blue, some of them is green. You just buy it. So by the time you buy uniform alone, you spent like £100 or £80 buying their PE, buying shoes, but it's fun. because I'm not paying school fees, so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. That's one of the best things about living here. You don't have to worry about paying school fees. That's one of the best things about living here. Okay, we went to the school, but we were supposed to start the next day. We went there like twice. First of all, we went for the meeting. Second of all, we went to get like ties, some school supplies the second day, and so she was supposed to start the third day. And then I realized that that place is quite a distance, being that I don't have car, and for any reason, if I have to go to school and she has to come back herself, because secondary school kids are allowed to go to school by themselves and come back by themselves. So if she has to go to school and come back by herself, that place is going to be a distance, you know. Or if I'm stuck up somewhere and I call her on phone and say come back by yourself, she can't walk home. So I wanted where she can walk home if I can't pick her. Okay, so we ended up not going to that first school. Then we went to this second school, and it was closed. It was also closed. The building, everything, the structure, the beauty was also very close to that school. But the other school was far better than this school. But was closed, but the other school was preferable for us. But because of the distance, we didn't go there. And then we went to the second school she's attending. Now, if you've seen some of the videos, I think I've done, you know, the first day I took them to school, I did a vlog. I'm going to also leave that vlog in the description box for you guys to see a sneak peek of how the school looks. Yeah, so it's quite a very beautiful school. So we enrolled and she started that school. I think we had challenges in enrolling her, because for her we just use like Nigeria system of going to school. Any age you just join school, as long as you can pay 250,000 for school fees, or you can pay 180. They are going to take your child. And as of when we had her, my grown-up daughter, the school she was attending were doing by 8, but for some reason every time we travel she was a year farther than, so she has to go back. So when I was in the US, she was a year further, so they had to bring her back by a class all the time, and we kept struggling with this. So when we had our second child, we didn't do that anymore. We didn't use the Nigerian system, so we didn't mind that he was always the biggest in his class, because most of his age mates were in a class ahead while he's behind. Okay, so we just use that thing because we didn't want them to like finish fast and come and spend the year at home without getting into the university and all those things. So we just use like the American standard, because that's what we're used to. So when most of his age mates were in primary 2 or in primary 1, he will be in basic, you know, in basic 1. I'm still struggling with using those basic something, so it's always primary for me. So he will be in basic 1 when others are in basic 2. So that's, apart from the bigger girl, we just let her do her thing, but the other two, we were just putting them in the class they were supposed to be. So at this point we realized that it's not about jumping class or being the highest class. It was about the development, so we just let them be in the appropriate class. So if your child is not 6-year-old by August 31st, your child cannot be in primary 1. So your child either be in preschool or all those kindergarten or whatever. So just have that in mind. So in all this ranting I've ranted in this video, all I'm trying to say to you is enroll your kids in school before you get here. That's why it's very important for you to get accommodation before you get here. But even if you don't get accommodation, still think of the areas where you want to live in, and then look for the schools around there and enroll your child. Okay, enroll your kid, and it's easier for you to transfer than for you to start afresh. So my kids had to stay 5 weeks at home because I did not know I was supposed to enroll them before they even arrive, or enroll them early enough. So that was what I struggled with. So it was really traumatic for me to watch them stay at home. I became a teacher by force. I started teaching math, started teaching English, started teaching, just to make sure that these 5 weeks they stayed at home, they don't miss so much from school. And also another thing you want to be thinking about, rating schools is very important in case you're not used to all these kind of things. You know, well, we're not too worried about that. It's just when we just see how the school, they will just enroll our kids. But here Rating schools are very important, what the school is rating. So before you enroll your child in school, check the school rating. What is important to you. If you're a Christian, because they'll ask you when you choose schools, they'll ask you, why do you want to choose this school? Is it because you're a Christian? Is it because of this? So you have to give them reason why you want to choose these schools, and the reasons are very important to them. So you have to give them a genuine and a reasonable reason and a good reason. It doesn't matter, just give them reason. It's not something you have to think, but something convincing that's why you want your kids to go to this school. Like for me, I gave them reason that my kids going to a Christian school is very important to me, because I want to keep maintaining my belief system as a Christian. I want a school where they'll use the standard of the Bible to raise my kids. It's very, very important to me. I don't want where they'll pick up things I do not believe in, because here if you're a Christian, you want your children to go to Christian school, because there's a lot of things that as a Christian parent you don't want to deal with. For instance, gayism. Okay, it's not like it's bad, I'm not saying it's bad, but what I'm saying is I do not buy the idea, and I'm entitled to my opinion, I'm entitled to what I want. Okay, so I don't want my children to, a school where they were going to be promoting that to them. That was why I decided to choose a Christian school. So these are things you need to be thinking when you're choosing school for your children. Also, proximity of getting to the school. If you don't have a car, how do you get to the school? Is it by bus? Because look, let me tell you the truth. Getting children to school by bus is the hardest thing anyone can do. Argue with your keeper, but for me it's the hardest thing, and I can't catch a bus to go get my kid. No, I can't catch the bus. Although they usually have like private buses that come pick the kids like on your junction, but for me it wasn't functional. So that was one of the reasons, the strongest reason I had to learn how to drive here in the UK and buy a car, just because of school runs, not even because of work. I can sort myself out. But you see that school runs when I will not be dragging the children, hey, let's run to the bus stop. I was not in for that. Let them just use their leg and enter car. I just enter and go and drop them. I like soft life so much, so if I have the money, I do it. So I don't have strength to carry children to bus. So it's either I'm driving you guys to school or I'm trekking to school. That's very important. So if the school is not far enough to drive, please let it be near enough to trek. So these are the things you'll be thinking about when you are enrolling your kids in school. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Recommend videos you would like me to do. Okay, so for those of you who have been asking me for vlogs, I'll do vlog. I promise I will. But I just realized that a lot of people, sensible people, have joined my channel and they need this information. So that's why I keep sharing this information. But I will do vlog once in a while. But don't worry, my new channel is coming up, where I'll be giving you guys buzz of vlogs and room 306 things. All the people that don't have sense like me in my channel will all go to that place. I will be talking about room 306, because till today my room 306 video is one of the highest view videos in my channel. Until today, it's almost a year, I'm still getting feedback through this room 306. Some of you that even register for my membership are always like, bro. But guys, just know that it's not easy. I will try. Okay, so I'm going to open a channel where all of us that are not well, that we like room 306, we are all going to go there and be doing our cock report. But for now, this our channel is for people that have sense. Okay, people that want to go to school, people that want to make things out of their lives, not people like you that like you cock report, that like 306. Guys, I'll never give you a gist about my 306 experience in this UK. We'll talk about that in the new channel coming up soon. Please don't forget to subscribe. Until I see you in another video. Bye.